Hello, and thank you for being here. I'm laughing because it's been one of those mornings, I'm sure you can relate, where I woke up nice and early to get all of my things done, and each of the children woke up early, and I got everyone back to sleep. And then I just started filming, and of course, the dog decides to start loudly drinking water and eating his kibble in the background. Anyways, okay, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am the former classroom teacher turned homeschooling mom and private reading tutor behind Little Otters Learn. And here on my YouTube channel, as well as my blog and my Instagram page, I offer different homeschooling tips and topics and curriculum reviews and flip throughs like this one. So just wanted to make sure we were in frame. I have been looking for a vocabulary-based program to help bridge the gap between the completion of a phonics program around the second grade and those, middle school years where you're focused more on academic vocabulary and just good, juicy vocabulary words. I wanted specifically a vocabulary program for the upper elementary years that had a focus on morphology. So coming out of a phonics program where we're really focused mostly on phonemes, individual units of sounds and words, I wanted to move into morphology because morphemes are units in words, small units and increments in words that hold meaning. So you cover some of these in a phonics program, like the S suffix that indicates plural, ed suffix, which indicates past tense. But I needed something that kind of covered the full range of Greek and Latin roots, suffixes and prefixes, all of those affixes that kids can use to understand language and also to help them with their spelling. Morphology is great because you are studying units of meaning in words, but you are also applying spelling rules and spelling patterns to spell those words using those different affixes. So I've reviewed a lot of different I've reviewed a lot of different vocabulary-based programs. I've tried out a lot of them, and I'm really liking a few that I'm going to be sharing over the next couple of videos. So I reached out to my contact at TCM, Teacher Created Materials, and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can you recommend a few resources on your website that would sort of fit the bill? I really enjoy TCM's resources. I find them very complete. I find them very teacher friendly. I find them thorough and engaging. And my contact over there said, well, I suggest these two. And what's great about these is that the author is Timothy Brzezinski. If you follow the science of reading, I'm a phonics tutor. If you follow the science of reading, if you are sort of just kind of paying attention to what's happening in phonics and reading instruction, then you probably have come across Tim Brzezinski's name. He is a phonics, reading, and fluency expert, and just knowing that he has co-authored these two resources makes me sort of instantly interested in them. So this vocabulary ladders, which I'm going to share after I share this one, but I just wanted to share briefly that this comes in levels 2 through 6. And you have probably come across word ladders in more of a spelling context, but this is very cool because it's actually focused on the vocabulary, the word meaning, and as it says here, understanding the word nuances, like the different shades of meaning in a word. This is very cool. I'm excited about this. This resource that I'm going to go over first, you can get either of these on TCM's website. You can also get them from Amazon. I noticed that there's a couple coupons for these vocabulary ladders on Amazon. This is 52 quick activities for building vocabulary with weekly word roots. It's based on Tim Brzezinski's. If you follow him on social media, he does these, I think it's called Morphology Monday. He has a series, and it's just a great way to introduce word roots and affixes. Sometimes these Greek and Latin root programs can feel kind of like you're just marching along. Here's this week, we're doing this one. Here's this week, we're studying this affix, this root. And this one is more based on well-known holidays and lesser-known holidays in the calendar. And I like that approach because it's engaging and it kind of gives the child something to hang the affix's meaning on. So if you are learning a Greek or Latin root, I keep saying affix, that just means like word part. But if you're learning a specific affix, like a Greek or Latin root, and you're like, oh, okay, so, cent means 100, that's great. I mean, this one is probably not a good example because the child would link that to dollars and cents and money to understand it. But another one, you might, like, here's Earth Day. So we're going to be exploring TERR, TER, and GEO words. So linking these affixes to Earth Day is going to sort of round out the child's understanding of those meanings. They're going to be able to attach certain words to it. They're going to be able to sort of celebrate the holiday, understand the meaning, and it just gives them kind of like a something to hang their hat on, something to attach the meaning to, and makes it more memorable. So what this actually does is you have these word root activities organized by month. And each month has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. January has 4, so 4 or 5 different sets of Greek or Latin roots that are being introduced. And they are all being introduced in the context of a holiday. So in January, you have New Year's, World Introvert Day. So this is like one of those like lesser holidays, Martin Luther King Day, National No Name Calling Week. And then he is coupling, Tim and the rest of the authors, his co-authors, are coupling this affix, this Greek or Latin root, with that holiday. And this obviously starts in January because it's based on a year, 52 weeks, but I am probably going to jump in when we start our school year in July. And you're gonna see that there's some fun ones here. So in June, you have World Bicycle Day, you have Father's Day, you have the summer solstice. In July, you have vacation-related words, August, International Peace Month, National Book Lovers Day, some bigger holidays, and then some kind of, less well-known ones that, maybe you could build a little unit of study around. So like I said, I'm just going to jump into this when we start our school year. Probably cover one lesson a week. TCM materials, Shell education materials are great because they always have this really comprehensive background information. This particular kind of introduction is explaining just kind of the reason for morphology and kind of talking a little bit about how the program works, but also that it's a great approach for vocabulary instruction because instead of just teaching, 10 words each week and having the student memorize the spelling and the meaning, you're actually giving them a much more efficient way to understand language. You're giving them prefixes, suffixes, Greek or Latin roots, and if you teach one of those, then you're actually unlocking the meaning to potentially many, many, many more words than you would if you were just teaching one vocabulary word in isolation. This says, in fact, 90% of the English words with more than one syllable are Latin-based. Most of the remaining 10% are Greek-based. So if you are studying these Greek and Latin roots, you're unlocking many different words in the English language. It says over 60% of the words students encounter in their reading have recognizable word parts. So if you're teaching the word parts and they're looking at that word in context, then they are more likely to be able to figure out the definition or the meaning. This is an explicit approach to this sort of instruction. We're giving them the root, we're giving them the affix, we're exploring many different words that have that affix in it. We're exploring the meanings, the shades of meaning. And the way that this is set up, it's going to kind of walk you through what the teaching pages look like. You have different sections for the different months, and then you get into the introductory page for that particular holiday. This is the root that we're going to be studying. This is the teacher page. And then you have your student pages. So here's your next holiday. Here's your student page. The student page is divided into two, so you have a matching activity up here, and then you have a second part where you're asking them to do some writing, a personal experience that they have related to the word in that one. This is Martin Luther King Day. We are introducing the roots of CIV, CIT, CIVIL, which means city or citizen. I mean, if you study, ancient civilizations, ancient times, American history, anything, you're going to come across this root, and knowing that it means city or citizen is very useful. Okay, so it kind of goes on like that. There is in the back your answer key. There's a reference section I wanted to show you. So you have, you know, if you're interested in this morphology approach, you want to learn more, there's ample references for further learning. There's your answer key, and then there is a list of, there's an index that has all of the word roots that you're going to be studying. So this is like you could use across grade levels. And then, as I had mentioned, let me make sure I'm in frame. Yeah. As I had mentioned, in levels 2 through 6, grades 2 through 6, you have this special vocabulary ladders. And I am so excited about this. I didn't even know this existed. So word ladders or vocabulary ladders are a way, let me just show you one of them because I think that illustrates it nicely. Then I'll go back through and show you all this. Okay. So word ladders are a way, usually like if you use them in spelling, each subsequent word moving up the ladder is going to have a phonetic pattern that's different from the one that preceded it. And then to the side with the spelling ones, it gives you the definition. This is slightly different because this isn't just about the word's spelling, this is about the word meaning. And what is so, the beauty of this, what is so cool about it is that you're really asking children to think very critically about the words that are here in the word bank. Really think about what they know about the words, applying those Greek and Latin roots and interpreting the words. Because even if you're using a thesaurus, say, and this child is writing, and they're trying to find a synonym for the word kind, for example, right? You want to do something that's a little bit richer in your writing. They're going to come up with how many, like 15, 20 different synonyms, and really understanding that even though it's a synonym, it really doesn't mean exactly the same. Words have shades of meaning, they have nuance, and having kids think really critically about the different, specific meanings to words it's a critical thinking exercise. It's going to help them in their reading when they come across those words. And it's giving them a much larger bank of words to use in their own writing. It's a great engaging wordplay style of instruction. And I want to back up a little bit and just kind of show you the beginning of the book. These Shell Education books that you can get on the TCM website or that you can get from Amazon, I love how, I'm going to use the word respectful, how respectful they are to the teacher, to the educator, to the homeschooling parent, because they really do like trust that you're interested in this style of instruction, that you want to learn more. They give ample background information. I just find there's like a level of professionalism and thoroughness to the beginning section that I just really appreciate. They're going to give you ample information about using this particular style of instruction, all the research supporting it. They're going to show you a typical 4-day layout. I try to fit our homeschooling instruction in 4 days, so I like this layout. Some additional tips for extension, how you can use this, how you can take it a little bit further, walking you through the lesson overview page, and then the different student activity pages that you're going to be doing. And just like a lot of these Shell Education resources, you can access some digital resources on the TCM. I think it's like Teacher Cloud or something, but it's linked there. This is kind of the general procedure. Okay, so that kind of, when you get this book, you're going to want to look through that. And then there is a references cited page. And you're going to notice, look, well, that's the digital, how to access the digital resources. You're going to notice that there is no answer key. Now, with these ordering of words, you will see that there's going to be, maybe multiple paths that the child could take. Maybe for some of them, there isn't one right answer. The idea here is that you want the child to sort of explain their thinking, right? You want them to make their thinking come out of their head, and you want them to explain it. You can have a discussion on it. You could even write these words. What I would recommend is writing these words on index cards. I like to use a 3x5 index card that I cut in half, and then I cut in half again, so I have little quarter cards. Write the words on them. Allow them to physically move the cards. You could do it in this kind of word ladder approach. You could also do it in a horizontal format. Allow them to shift the cards around. Like, really, sit with this. I think that sometimes we see a workbook and we're like, okay, this is independent, I'm gonna give it to the child, but you could make this a whole course of study. The lessons are organized by topic, which I think is an engaging way to organize it. Okay, so thank you to the folks at TCM for gifting me these two resources. I really like this approach to vocabulary instruction. Again, in those post-phonics years, where you really want to sort of continue the introduction to morphology that you got maybe at the end of your phonics program with the S and the ing and the ed suffixes, and you want to just kind of continue that conversation, continue that knowledge before you move into maybe your middle school or even high school level, where kids are just kind of a little bit more focused on academic vocabulary and just good, juicy words to use. So please do check this out. Thank you again to TCM for gifting me these in exchange for my honest review. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you have used a similar vocabulary program with this like morphology focus, comment below and please do share. Thanks all.